Luzes vermelhas vão se acendendo. Quando elas se apagarem, começa a segunda sprint do ano. É disso que o povo gosta. Larga bem Leclerc, larga bem Verstappen. Os dois vêm lado a lado. Verstappen faz a abertura para a tomada. Pérez ao lado do Leclerc. Pérez fica por dentro. Verstappen, Pérez teve toque.
Already here in Miami, bright sunshine to start the day, and then we had a touch of Florida rain. The track very, very slippery.
Charles Leclerc out before it even begins. That is how treacherous it is, even at reduced conditions. We go on board with the driver from Monaco, who is about to find the barrier in a straight line, and that's aquaplaning to the wall.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely zippo he can do there. So that's the danger. I literally said it was a sensible decision to go on Inters, but look at the rain coming down in that moment. And Charles turning to the left, but the tyres are just skimming over the surface.
The red flag has been thrown, so the drivers will come back into the pit lane. They'll line up in order, and we'll wait, I assume, Martin Brundle, for such a time that the track will dry out, or race control will decide we're not going to get the sprint race gone. And Kimi Antonelli on pole. It's lights out and away we go, and I think Oscar Piastri had a better reaction time, but Piastri is coming at Kimi Antonelli and has the inside line into the first corner, and Antonelli has to back out of it, and he's going to lose places now. As through goes Piastri, through goes Norris, and through goes Max Verstappen. Pole down to fourth now, and George Russell all over the rear wing of his teammates Mercedes.
Yeah, the trouble for Antonelli, he's out of position. Now he's falling back through the pack. It's really hard to then gather the speed up. He should have yielded that first corner instead of trying to fight it around the outside. You live and you learn, and he's still on the racetrack. Let's have a look and see who got to the apex first down in that first corner. And
that's Piastri's corner on the inside.
Touch and go. Really touch and go there as to where you need to stop the car really and decide where the apex is exactly. And whether Piastri was far enough. He's got to be alongside the mirror of the Mercedes of Antonelli, his front wheel. So as you get to the apex, it does give Piastri, Lando Norris neat and tidy behind, just minding his own business.
It looked like a carbon copy of Jeddah when Piastri had the right to the corner.
But Piastri was considerably further ahead in Jeddah. Oh, that's a bit of Braille overtaking, isn't it?
Ollie Behrman, was there a gap? Did he breathe in?
And yeah, but there are no mandatory pit stops in the sprint, but of course you can make a pit stop, as Carlos Sainz then up the inside. Nicely done.
Yeah, Carlos Sainz nicely done. Jack Doohan almost, Pierre Gasly almost taking Esteban Ocon too. Ocon struggling out there a touch, but he's back ahead.
Ocon got better traction out of the corner as Sainz went in a bit deep and reclaimed the position.
That will carry on then for a few more.
Yeah, fire up the rear tyres a little bit, and there's the yellow reference line.
Well, surely that's too far forward.
It looks very similar to Norris, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In Bahrain. Oh, there's a Mercedes
Antonelli.
Somewhat wider than it should be, but it's all right. He must go right to the front of their start boxes.
Lewis Hamilton ahead then of Alex Albon. Albon looked to be a little closer to Hamilton. Meanwhile, Albon's teammate Carlos Sainz is having a go here at Esteban Ocon, who's been using that inside line to get better traction. He might just do it again because Sainz has outbraked himself. The old switcheroo there, helped by Carlos Sainz. And that must be getting... Others might just pit, and Hamilton might have enough pace to get back into it, and he's put soft tyres on. Stroll has also pitted. Sainz has also pitted. As through goes Bortoleto. Sonoda's just coming around the final corner now. He was the first one to pit for slick tyres. Hamilton will come out just ahead of Gabriel Bortoleto. on the track. Bortoleto goes around the outside. And Lewis Hamilton on the soft tyres too.
So Tsunoda nearly 2 seconds a lap faster in the first sector alone. It's time for slicks.
Who is brave enough to put the slicks on? Who might want to hang it out? Verstappen's coming in to the pits, and there is a double yellow flag being waved as well out on the track. Antonelli is also in the pits. Oh, there's contact in the pit lane between Verstappen and Antonelli, Ted.
Yeah, this crash, that was always going to happen when Red Bull released Verstappen into the path of Antonelli. He's wiped out his front wing. It's not enough to end Verstappen's race. Antonelli continued through. That's the first time. That's the definition of unsafe release. What were Red Bull thinking?
Yeah, on both those McLarens now.
Tsunoda up to 14th. Hamilton up into the points is 8th. McLaren waiting for at least one of their drivers, and it's Oscar Piastri that comes in, and Lando Norris continues on his way. So the race leader gets the change of tyres. Norris on his way. Now, whether that was a team decision or Lando Norris said he wanted to carry on, we will find out. Carlos Sainz is back to the pits, out of this race, as out onto the track goes Oscar Piastri. And where will he be when he comes out onto the track? Second.
Piastri leading, therefore he got first service. This is going to hurt Lando Norris. An extra lap on the wet tyres. Well, of course, the safety car would play beautifully into Lando's hands right now, and that's what he's up to there, calling for that.
It's Lewis Hamilton making another move, this time on Max Verstappen. He is up into third. Verstappen with damage on his car. You can see front wing end plate on the left-hand side is completely gone. Crowd going wild. They've loved that move. And plate on the left-hand side is completely gone. Crowd going wild. They've loved that move, and race control have noted that unsafe release between Verstappen and Antonelli.
So finally then Norris gets to come in the pit lane, and will he be able to get out in front of the Hamilton-Verstappen battle? He should be able to.
Another double waved yellow is being waved for, and that is why Fernando Alonso has now hit the wall, and that might be safety car, or definite safety car, or even a red flag in this race. Norris is coming out. Piastri's making his way round the final corner now, but the safety car has reduced the speed, and that has given Lando Norris the lead of this race. Second year running in Miami, safety car at just the right time for Lando Norris.
It was a bit late. Sainz recovering, and you're not really allowed to do that, as we saw earlier on. It's like a polo mint, then the rear tyre heading off. So 10-second time penalty for Max Verstappen for what we're about to see here, which is piling straight into the side of the Mercedes. And that meant then that Antonelli couldn't pit, didn't it?
Guys, come on!
That meant Antonelli couldn't get in his pit.
Absolutely. So he couldn't take the change of tyres. So he did. What Red Bull's pit stops in Bahrain and here,
Hey, man.
You did, young man, you did a brilliant job to avoid that, because that would have spun him into a load of mechanics.
And he had to stay on the intermediate tyres. That's how Fernando Alonso got punted around by the racing bull of Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
And I would imagine Alonso and Aston Martin will want to say a few things about that as well.
Yeah, I think Liam Lawson might have some problems there when their stewards get hold of that one, because he was off the race.
Lando Norris. Safety car peels away, and Lando Norris will lead the drivers over the line as they come into view to win the Miami Sprint in 2025. It's Norris, it's Piastri, it's Hamilton, the top three. Alex Albon with a brilliant fourth place for Williams. George Russell finishes where he started in fifth. Lance Stroll picks up his third points finish of the season in sixth. Liam Lawson is back in the points in seventh, and Ollie Behrman was there to pick up a point in eighth place ahead of Yuki Tsunoda and Kimi Antonelli, the man on pole, who finished 10th.
Lawson will have to fight hard to keep that, I think, in with the stewards, but points for him at the moment. And as you can see, Verstappen with that 10-second really hurt him there.
Cool, P1, well done.
Yeah, lovely job. Well done, boys.
Olá a todos e muito obrigado por acessar.